Hey guys, happy Tuesday and welcome to a brand new series that I'm going to be calling Recreating Whatever. Super original, I know. So I'm one of those people who is definitely self-taught. I never went to school for any filmmaking. I've always learned better just by doing. And one skill that I've always been jealous of is to recreate something and mimic a style or a setup. So it kind of inspired the whole idea of recreating big YouTuber setups like in this video that you can see up here. But I've always wanted to do the same for movies because I think it's incredibly valuable to look at a movie and understand how it was lit. But you see, I've always given myself the same excuses that I'm sure a lot of us have, which is I don't have sets that look like that. I don't have actors. I don't maybe have the same lighting gear that the crew who filmed that used. And personally, I'm really tired of my own excuses. So every Tuesday, I want to pick a simple shot or one or two shots from a scene to recreate. Now, the skill that I'm personally going after is lighting. So I'm not going to pay attention as much to set design, costuming, stuff like that. I'll do my best to get it relatively close, but if I don't already have something lying around, I'm not gonna go out and spend a bunch of money or spend forever trying to problem solve those sorts of look issues. Maybe if this series really blows up, then obviously I'll put more time, effort, and money back into it. But for now, this is more just about learning the lessons of filmmaking and cinematography. So every week I'm going to give myself a budget of 3 hours to recreate whatever the shot is. And that's roughly an hour and a half or so to set up and film it, and roughly an hour and a half to edit that shot. Obviously the making of the YouTube video takes a little bit longer, but you get the idea. So for the very first video in today's shot, I'm going to be mimicking the introduction of the totem inside of Inception using my own completely overpriced spinning top that I saw the other day lying around, and I was like, hey, that'd be a good first one. Now again, I'm not doing the entire scene that you see here. I'm literally going to take these two very quick shots, this one and this one. So let's dive into it and see how close we can get. So I have the scene pulled up here, and before I start actually moving anything around to recreate the scene, I want to watch it a bunch of times and to create kind of a mock-up of the lighting setup just on paper, where I think I'm going to place lights, the camera angles, and that sort of thing based on how I think they did it here. Also, anyone who knows me knows I hate pen and paper compared to like an iPad, but this Grove made pen, so good. Alright, so first of all, enjoy my doodles. I am not an artist in any stretch of the imagination. So for the spinning top shot, I plan on putting a flag right above it just because it seems like the tip of it is actually kind of flagged because it's the darkest part of the top. And on both sides, I plan on putting a light source and heavily diffusing them because it looks like it's a very soft light. We don't see any sort of harsh hot spots on the metal. Now for the wider shot, we're definitely using motivating light coming from the two windows we can see in here. Now I'm going to place the table near a composition where I too have a window kind of behind me that I can use as the edge light. I'll place a light outside of it with diffusion to make it even, just like it is in the movie shot, and kind of blast that through the real window, hopefully edge lighting me perfectly. Now as far as the side light, I don't have a window in this location, so I'm just going to use a big diffusion grid right out of frame and kind of blast light behind that, again softening it a bit, but it's still definitely a harder light source, as we can see that there is some good contrast on his shirt and jacket. And then I'm going to use a bounce to fill in the face a little bit. So I'm planning on rearranging some of my desk setup anyway, so I figured, hey, why not just use the kind of concrete texture of this table? So I kind of tore everything down and started getting set up. I'll talk about this later on, but I couldn't actually shoot a light through the outside window due to unfortunate rain. So I'm just going to use my panel light as kind of the window. And setting up my Blackmagic Pocket 6K as kind of the main camera, as I'm using the 6K Pro as more of this behind the scenes vlog camera that you've been seeing. And now this is the angle for the actual shot. I just wanted to kind of record the whole process of me testing out a bunch of different lighting. I wanted to add some green from the mix panel since the tones of this film kind of have some nice greens to it. And my original light was too cool, so I switched it out for the Nanlite Compact 200B so I could put a warmer color temperature. And here I'm just playing around with different lights, and you'll see the final setup in just a moment. Alrighty, so I got shot number 1 done. Just want to quickly show you what the final setup looked like here. I have my camera, which I had the 15mm lens on, which is currently on this camera. This top light actually didn't end up working out. It was casting too much of a light on me, but I still needed to get that kind of cool color on the table. So we have the Forza 500 over here with a snoot on it, cool 48% or so. Instead of shooting through the grid, we are using the Compact 200B set to 3200 Kelvin, and I'm basically flagging it just with the side of a camera bag. So I put it on the side here so it's not spilling as much on this wall. Right next to the camera, basically just have a white bounce to hopefully reflect a little bit back on my face. We'll see how that worked out. And then over here we have the Nanlite Mix Panel 150. I was going to go outside this window here, remove the black flag right there, and set up a light outside, shoot through the window, make it look more legit. And of course it decided to start raining, so this is a window. Obviously it's in the final shot, so a little disappointed on that. Like I said, I'm trying to use this as education to myself for lighting, not use any excuses not to get the shot done. So now we just gotta move on to the macro shot of the top on the table. Should be a lot easier, but we may still have to move some things around, so let's see. And one more thing that I'm pretty disappointed about is I'm out of haze and fog. I feel like that would have helped the situation a lot. It doesn't look like the scene had too much because there wasn't a lot of highlight bloom. So I'm not too disappointed, but I think every cinematic set could use a little bit of haze or something, so for next time. I'm really stoked because I don't get to use my 150 macro cine lens too often. This is the perfect shot for it. Ho, 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 ho. Alright, so I got the lighting pretty close. You can tell the biggest issue I'm about to have with this shot is not the lighting, not the composition. It's going to be getting this thing in frame and in focus and spinning it so that it's not super wobbly, because that in that shot it's like perfectly straight up and spinning. So I have a feeling this is about to take like a couple dozen tries. So changing to this kind of photography surface here, which is very smooth compared to the concrete textured tabletop that I have here, definitely made a huge difference. It definitely felt smoother. Also, it kept drifting pretty dramatically, and so I found if I literally use the back of my fingernail and just kind of tapped it or kind of nudged it to stay in place, it drifted a lot less. Still drifted a bit though, but I only needed literally like 2 seconds or something for the shot, so I think I got it. Now time to edit this and see if it all came together. What do you guys think about the final result? I personally I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm happy that I was able to get over kind of the hurdles that I saw early on with my original lighting setup not really working out, and just continuously problem solving and learning different solutions to accomplish the style of shot. It wasn't perfect, and again, I'm really disappointed that I wasn't able to put a light outside the actual window, because I think that would have helped a lot and matched it that much closer. But considering I did this all by myself in just a couple of hours, even trying to match the digital camera moves, since again the camera's just on a tripod, I think it went pretty well. Let me know down in the comments below what scene I should try out for next week. Hopefully you guys like this video. Feel free to leave any critique or advice on how this scene could have gone better. I'm really excited to start this new series, and I hope you guys are too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.